Good evening, boys and girls. Today I will review rounding so I can round decimals to different place values, and I have it when I can correctly round my decimal. So here we have 7 and 456 thousandths. I'm going to round each of these to the nearest place value that is indicated. So first I'll do tenth, hundredth, and then my nearest whole. So to my nearest tenth is my 4. So I'm going to use a number line for this, and I am between 40 and 50, and right in the middle would be 45, because remember I need this digit's going to tell me what to do, so I'm looking at this in general. So 45 is right here, and I know when it's a 5 it goes closer to here, and I know that my first my digits before the place value I'm rounding to stay the same, and so it's going to be bumped up to a 5 and then a 0 after everything. So I know I can just drop off those zeros entirely. When I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth, now I'm worried about my 5. And so I need to look at this place value, and these are going to help me. So again, if I have a number line, I'm looking at between 50 and 60, and 55 would be my midpoint. 56 is right about here, so that is closer to 60. So that would give me 7. Again, every place value before my underline stays the same. So 7 and the 4 stay the same. My 5 is bumped up to a 6. And then finally to my nearest whole, I know my ones place is my nearest whole. So that is my 7, meaning that this is going to help me. And so I'm looking at this, and I'm between 70, technically 7.0, but I'm going to think of it as 70 and 80. My midpoint being 75, and 74 is about right there, so I'm actually closer to 70. So it stays at 7, and then all my place values behind would turn into zeros, but I don't need those. So this was a quick recap. We're using the same rounding rules that we used with whole numbers, so if you're struggling with that, I would recommend finding the original rounding video, but we're still using the same rules no matter what. So on this one, it says when rounded to the nearest tenth, which of the following number rounds to 4 and 7/10. So you're going to have to round all 4 of those, figure out which ones will give me 4 and 7/10. So pause this video and round each one. Alright, so I know that on my 4 and 67 hundredths, I'm looking at my tenths place. I'm actually looking at my tenths place in all of these. So I'm looking, am I between 60 and 70? 65 being my midpoint, and 67 is about right here. So that would round to 70, so I have 4.70. Again, I can drop off my 0, so A is a correct answer. Now I'll use red for my B. I'm looking at my tenths place value. So I am between 60 and 70 again. Looking at my midpoint, 65. 62 is about right here. So that would be 4.60, cross off my 0. That is not a correct answer. So I will switch to blue. I am looking at between 70 and 80 this time. 75 being my midpoint, 71 about right there. So that would give me 4.70. Cross off, that does give me a correct answer. And finally, D is 4.7 or 4.76. So again, I'm between 70 and 80. And 76 is about right there. So that would give me 4.80. Cross off that 0, so that is not a correct answer. So it's still rounding, it's just asked in a different way. And here's a bring back to school problem. You have this number right here. I would like you to take that, turn it into standard form, and then round it to the nearest whole, the nearest tenth, and the nearest hundredths.